Is it hypocritical for black women to get mad at white women for having braids when the black women have straight wigs and weave in their hair?
From India.
From India, but the idea that they have straight hair
It's
comes
Malaysian.
from the white people.
Is it hypocritical?
Is it hypocritical for them to say, "Hey, you
What would be
can't"?
the basis of like? It's the cultural appropriation is what you're upset about?
So I saw some podcast. I forgot the name of it because it was really just a clip I was watching anyway.
Okay.
So these two girls were going back and forth, and basically she was saying the one girl was saying she's tired of seeing, and she was like a light skinned black girl, saying she was tired of seeing white women dress and fashion themselves like black women. So from whether they have their hair braided, got their edges slicked down, or how they dress,
You know what
they're
that shit
tired
is,
of
bro?
it.
Like,
But in the conversation, at some point, I think the other girl brought up like black girls having weave. I don't know where it came. Somebody was doing a review, so either the girl on the podcast or the person reviewing it basically called that it was hypocrisy because you have weave. You guys are okay because the girl didn't have weave; she had braids, but she's saying you guys are okay with wearing straight wigs and straight weave, but you call it cultural appropriation when a white woman adopts some of your fashions. So I'm asking you guys, do you think
okay,
that
so
is hypocritical?
there's like so much, there's levels to that question because it's like realistically, the basis as to why you're upset. Like I understand it. Okay, I'm gonna start with my perspective first. Yo, it's 2025. You can't really be mad at how people fashion themselves. Like you can, but yo, you're gonna spend a lot of time being upset because yo, people have a lot of influence and inspiration nowadays. We have the internet, and yo, I like depending on where you are in the world, like a lot of places are multicultural. Like at least here in North America or like primary hubs. You know what I mean? So it's like the cultures mesh. People are naturally influenced and inspired by the other cultures and people just around them and what they see. So that like if I wear braids, for example, and like I see a white nigga that he wants to try it because he's like, yo, that looks sick. Like for like you know, like you have white people in the comment section talking about your braids. If that nigga wanted to go fashion himself after the braids he thought were so sick, I'm not gonna wrong him. He's trying to think like this is Scarborough. This is Toronto. White people might go try a thing and wear some
and
braids.
specifically if you live in Scarborough,
Yeah, like
you're
the
gonna see
Scarborough
a
white
lot
guys-
more white people
The Scarborough
doing
white
things
guys
like
have braids.
that.
Yeah, it is what it is. Does that bother me? No, because yo, they're more so like a product of where they're from. Like, you get what I'm saying? Or like you can see where their influence comes from, essentially. Now, I haven't seen the video you're speaking of, so it's hard for me to gauge the context in which she's getting upset about. But I will say that yo, you are taking on a battle that's too big for yourself if you're gonna get upset with white women of any variety wearing braids in their head still. Like, that's my position on it, because
It wasn't just braids, but I emphasize braids because it's specifically
so it's
black
any- so
style. But
basically-
she was saying, I don't want white women trying to look like black women.
okay, well,
Just
the thing
look like a regular
you know what,
white
then?
woman.
like that's what it's so bothersome because like yo, if we're going on the basis of technicality, like yo, you're on like stolen white land, like this is land, like this is the white man's environment we're living in. This is North America. This is like these are the favored individuals, right? A lot of the
They're
standards,
the majority. It's their country.
the standards of beauty and the social customs are kind of based and originated through their practices. You get what I'm saying? And then these practices are also like, fam, they marketed and sold this so well that it's fucking broadcasted around the world. Like Asians want to look like white people because that is what they've been sold as the standard of beauty, right? That being said, now you're gonna be like, oh, you guys have everything. Don't steal our thing. Like, would it be worse if she said, well, go back to Africa and do your fashion over there, or go back to wherever you're from? Like, is that, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
One
you
of
can't
her
come to a
arguments as
multicultural
well-
land and then be like mad when people are getting inspired by the shit you're doing. Yo, stop being less influential.
Just for context, I forgot that. So one of the arguments was that very often white women will take things from black women, well, other races of people, but this
white
one was
people
specific.
been taking things from other people forever.
But then
Preach.
looking down on those people for having or doing the same thing that they're doing.
So this was her grievance?
That was part of her grievance.
Okay.
She said a series of things. I was just trying to summarize it.
Yeah, I'm
So-
just trying to gain context.
Yeah, so she also said, like, not only are they taking our stuff, but when they do that, they then insult us for having it. So it's cool when they have braids, but when we do it, we're
It's ghetto
vilified.
or-
It's
yeah.
ghetto or whatever the case.
Yeah,
but when
yeah,
they
yeah.
do
I
it,
get that
it's just
component.
a
And you know
a
what?
style.
No. You know what
You
it
know?
is? Now that we're, I can see that, like, because I've seen that shit before, like where it's like firsthand, where you have groups of people that would, like you said, ostracize something because of like, you know, its difference, and then when it becomes trendy, you now participate or engage in whatever was previously ostracized.
Yeah.
that sucks. Like, fuck, the nature of that sucks. Just listen to how it sounds. But braids is a perfect example.
Okay,
Like,
no,
no, but
the
even
hair,
hairstyle,
but okay,
hairstyle,
even the
dreads,
body, okay?
bodies, lips,
So
ass
lips and ass are something that black women
were frowned
have
upon.
been ridiculed for historically. A lot of the times by white people or anybody else who subscribes to white supremacy. But now you see loads of women who are
Getting
not black
BBLs.
getting their lips
Lip injection.
injected
Yeah.
and then getting some type of procedure to make their ass look bigger. So this would be an example of it was like it's cool when you do it, but it's a problem when we do it, even though like nigga, this was our stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't
know?
pay, and we didn't pay for this.
That okay? No, that, when presented in that fashion or that manner, then I can understand why you'd be upset. Do I have the answer or the problem to it? Like, nah, but like,
Well, my question was, with all of that considered now,
okay,
is the black woman's objection to a white woman fashioning herself in a way that is typical for black women,
right.
is it hypocritical for her to object to that when that same black woman will have like a straight-haired wig or
No,
weave
you know what
in
it is?
her
I'm
Can't
not
head?
gonna-
speak for
Okay,
all
no,
of them.
no.
Though.
The thing, I'm not gonna say it's hypocritical per se, but I will say when you open that can of worms, now you've opened yourself to other criticisms as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't say that without, like you said, having this conversation. Is it directly hypocritical? No, I can't say
For
that.
what, like, I think it is hypocritical,
it's
but why do you
hypocritical?
think it's not? I'll get to my point after.
The only reason I was saying it wasn't hypocritical is because, like, even I don't know, like I'm putting the racial double standard on certain things where it's like, yo, even though we don't look at it like we're stealing fashion or identity or like, fashion or trends from white people. More so is like we've been kind of like brainwashed to believe or like ingrained and conditioned to believe that this is what beauty is. Like basically, black women were told not to light their hair. You should be doing this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Whereas white women were never told you should be braiding your hair. You
Yeah.
should be, like, they weren't shunned for being their natural selves. Whereas historically, black women were.
Yeah.
So I can't say it's
Like the
hypocritical.
afro wasn't accepted in
because
the workplace.
the
and stuff.
playing field was not the same for which we navigated hair. So I can't say it's
But
hypocritical.
you already acknowledged that, like, the white guy from Scarborough who has braids
yeah.
is not trying to steal or culturally appropriate anything.
Right.
He is just
Participating.
representing something that he likes, that he was exposed to in his environment.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the white woman was doing the same thing, and then this other woman who is doing the same thing by having the black woman having straight hair in her head,
It's not the same,
is
but I
it
get what you're saying.
like, I see that as hypocritical. Like, I agree with you.
I
that-
can't say, but I can't say it's hypocritical for the basis I just presented because, yo, the basis of which we navigated these practices weren't the same. You did this strictly for fashion and trend because you thought it was cool in the moment.
Yeah,
we
we
did
did
this
it
because
'cause
we
we
were
had
told
to,
we were
yeah.
ugly otherwise.
And we wouldn't be hired.
We wouldn't be hired. We're not accepted. This is not
Yeah.
appropriate. Your hair is wrong and bad. They were
Yeah.
shunned and ostracized for their hair.
It's like it's the same thing with dark women when the lighter skinned woman gets better jobs or a better chance. It's the same thing. They got discrimination because they're darker. So it's just like they did everything to make it look like, okay, yo, if I'm gonna be dark, I gotta have straight hair. They're not gonna accept me with the
Black
nappy
people
hair.
don't
I
frown
get-
at
I-
whiteness, whereas white people frown
Yeah.
at blackness.
Yes. So obviously, the reason that black women would be straightening their hair, whether by perm, heat, wearing a wig or a weave, is obviously because of the white supremacy situation. However, I feel like today it's like we know that we're free. We know that we are just human beings, and there's nothing wrong with it. Nobody's inferior or superior. You know,
You can't know, but you
so
don't say,
it's
even
like
you saying
today
that,
you're doing that as somebody who thinks like you're a pro-black person, but you still put straight hair in your head.
Nah. But now you're taking liberties and assuming that you think you know where people are mentally. To say that, oh, we all know that we're all equal and we're all free. Like, yo, fam, not everybody wakes up in that mentality and that awareness.
Exactly.
So there is a lot, especially in America, brother, it's not like that. So I'm going to assume, just based on what's like, she may be one of these people that doesn't see it like this, just for the benefit of her own argument or whatnot. But I'm just like, I understand what it is. Like, look around. Right, you could do whatever you want.
'Cause
Sure,
everything
but
she's-
not everybody thinks like Nick. Yo, there are people who wake up like, yo, they hate white people still for the crimes committed against their fucking ancestors.
But then I would think like,
Or the one.
then
two
why
individuals
wouldn't
that
you
did something
reject
to them.
everything?
Pardon me?
Then so if you hate them for what they've done and you are aware that they have tried to oppress us, then
So just move
why?
back to Africa?
No, well, that's impractical. But
what are you saying?
it's a lot easier for you to just wear your own natural hair than to change your language and change your homeland.
Yeah.
That's impractical. We can't just go back to, first of all, what part of Africa? We don't even know. Where is home? Home is where you're at right now, realistically, as far as you know.
Yeah, you're
then
American
what is your
citizen.
native language? Right now it's English. Even though it was forced upon you, you don't know
You don't know how
what
to
language
click.
you're supposed to be speaking anyway.
Exactly.
And then if you found it, you have to go learn it. Like, that's impractical, but your hair comes out of your head.
Right.
Nobody has any control
And
over
no-
that.
and
You
then-
choose what you do with it.
And that's fine. And so you're still going to navigate in a society where white people are the preferred race, or like they're the dominant race or the majority. And so, like, even you navigating like your experience as a black person, especially let's say with like more coarse or like was it type C kind of hair, buddy, your experience is not going to be the same. Like, it's not the same navigation. Bro, you may feel ugly in your own natural hairstyles because of the attention you receive from those you're around. You get what I'm saying? Like, you may not get the guy's attention that you like, or like maybe if you know, like for example, I went to school like my first year high school, I was in every class I was in the only black kid. You know what I'm saying? Now, so but like flip the script. If that's a woman, for example, and she's around all white guys, for example, her
She
perspective
might feel pressured.
you
to
get what I'm
straighten
saying?
hair.
Her perspective of beauty is now dictated by how everyone else is responding to her. They're not going to respond. Meanwhile, take this same woman, put her in a different environment with her natural self, and she'll be like, you know what I mean? So the demographic and kind of where you navigate, it plays a factor into that.
But the majority of women that weave their hair or put on wigs, they're
Well, now it's been
growing
so-
up in predominantly
Don't get me wrong.
black areas.
So-
So
Yep.
they're not singled out.
No, I
They're in
understand
an
that.
environment where this is the
But you have to
majority.
understand,
Nobody's
so that black women's hair culture has gone so far, like aside from where it came from and where it developed and why it is what it is, right? Because like obviously it's foundationed in like the roots. It's gone so far to the point it's beyond that now. Like, fam, some of the shit you see I guess the women in the culture doing is ridiculous. Like when they have all type of like, I don't know, I just seen some outrageous black hairstyles.
I've seen some outrageous ones.
Some outrage, some neon colors, some this and that. You're just like, yo, what the fuck is going on, right? It goes far and beyond. Like, there's levels to the hair thing. So, like, basically, the girl who wants to be accepted by her peers is not doing it for the girl who just wants to, like, for the girl who's putting weave in her baby's hair. You get what I'm saying? Because I've seen that
You're
too.
that's a
evil
whole
for that.
next
Nah,
level
but that's
of
what I'm
this.
saying.
Like,
Like,
Yeah.
there's
I'm
levels
gonna
to
leave
this.
them out of it
That's
because
what I'm
that's
saying, though.
crazy already.
But there is
you
levels
know?
to the dysfunction because
That's
it runs so deeply, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like you're sick a little bit.
But then I just feel like it's a lack of self-awareness for, like, imagine you see like a dark-skinned woman who got like blonde straight hair in her head,
right.
seeing the white woman with braids in her head and be like, you can't do that. And just visually it looks crazy. It's
No,
like,
it does.
What are
It-
you doing?
It does.
It does.
At the very least, if she was in her natural state and then objected, I wouldn't call it hypocrisy.
Of
Like,
course.
like, I don't know what other
No,
word
no,
you
no,
want
but
to
no,
describe
but
it
that's
with,
why I have
but
a-
I wouldn't use hypocrisy.
But that's why I didn't like.
But when I see the blonde,
you're
straight-haired
rocking-
black woman pointing the finger, I'm like, this just
Because
looks
you're rocking
backwards,
blonde
bro.
hair that you bought from a Chinese store.
You know what it is though?
It's
There's a-
coming from so many different origins
Yeah,
except
like-
Africa.
Fam, no,
Everywhere but Africa.
there's delusion and dysfunction that are both present in some of the situations presented. But nonetheless, I still think that like in modern day society, like let's say like we're talking about younger generations, people who don't have the same history as like, you know, or the same knowledge of history, for example. Everyone's just growing up. Kids are fairly innocent, right? You're innocent until you learn otherwise. If she sees, if a white girl has a black girl best friend and she wants to bust the same styles as her black girl best friend, because you know kids are just like, oh, I want to look like her, I want to be like, it's innocent. I think the intention is also kind of important in these things. So I wouldn't get mad and be like, no, you can never have braids in your hair, little white girl.
But the
You're gonna-
statement was blanketed. It didn't provide any context
Yeah.
like you're saying. It's just across the board.
Well, that's just why.
See,
that's
So
That's
then,
why I
then
have a
that's when
problem
I'm
with
like,
it.
okay, well, across the, because you mentioned a lot of nuanced things about black women in their hair. But if we're gonna go across the board, it's like, well, you have somebody else's hair in your head.
But yo, you
No.
gotta take into a lot of things. You gotta take in like the environment, all the stuff that's like at this point now, you gotta take in like other stuff like that. What she's saying just sounds like she's just
She
just
didn't
doesn't
provide
like-
any
Yeah.
of
She
the
doesn't like-
other
she's
things
taking
things
that
that he
more
said.
personal. That's
No,
a
no.
personal
She just
thing
said
with
across the
white
board, I don't
people.
want to see none of
Well,
them do it.
But this is why
That's a
initially when you
personal
asked the
thing.
question, I said, yo, buddy, if she's gonna take on the grievance of white people liking black things, yo, she has a lengthy battle on her hands.
They got a lot of stuff over there.
Yo, fam, like you are gonna be fighting forever, buddy.
Yeah, there's a long list, bro. When do you want to start?
You know what I'm saying? Yo, fam, wait till she finds out they listen to Chief Keef.
And it
like
would
it's
have
over.
to, bro. And the craziest thing is you'd have to start that conversation by taking that out your head. Like,
At least
like, yo, you cannot start that
for
conversation.
her sake, she had braids.
Okay.
So
Okay.
her
Hold up.
situation
You
was
could have braids that's still not your hair.
Because
I'm not gonna start adding stuff because
No,
then
no,
it's just,
but I'm
again
just
we
saying,
could just
Cuz
start
made
fighting
facts.
all day. He is.
Those are
But
Indian
again,
braids, eh?
How long were they? Were
They were
ears?
fucking long.
braids,
They were
fam.
long. They were long. Still, It's
That's
not-
crazy.
I
You know
highly
that's
doubt.
crazy.
I highly doubt it was entirely your hair. But fam, I don't want to be here all day arguing shit. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta pick
so
and
I
choose your
left
battles,
out.
fam.
I picked the battles.
Got you.
Okay, just like we're telling her to pick her battles, I picked mine.
That's my
She had
advice.
braids. I'm gonna forgive her
I
braids.
just want to know how long
But-
they were. That's all I want.
She did like my thought process was provoked by the video, but it's not the first time that I've
has
seen
come
this.
across, that
and I've
rhetoric.
seen this from women who have weave or wigs, something that is in a straight non-African fashion in their head, and they're ready to fucking fire off shots at mostly white women, but anybody who's not black that is doing the same thing. That is adopting a black hairstyle.
Nah,
And
the only
that's
thing
where my
I have
question
a
came
problem,
from.
like the only thing I have, not even a problem, but the only thing I notice that makes me laugh, I'm like, you shouldn't do that. Like I go like this, is the white women with the dreads that act more righteous than the man.
But yo, more
Again,
times they have a
that's
a
wild.
super yachty than
I'm not
baby
even
father,
gonna
eh?
like.
I don't care,
I'm not
guys.
even addressing that.
No, but
I seen one in the whole
I don't
outfit
get-
with the
fam, there's
beads.
no amount of
Crazy.
Jamaican men you can have sex with to make you more Jamaican than me.
Well, you can't tell them that.
Fam, I'm not
'Cause
gonna lie.
they're
You go to
convinced.
her, you eat out of her eye out dish. You're taking off your shoes in
You know
her
what's
yacht.
crazy?
They know
Everything
that.
looks good on
Yo, you know what I just thought of? Yo, those women and gay people are the only two people that wear their sexual preferences. You walk in a room and everybody knows what you
Oh,
like.
so you fuck black men?
Yeah, right away. There's nothing to ask. It's answered, bro. And all the children will have the most Afrocentric names you've ever heard of, bro.
Tiberius.
Holy, you smell like grabber and musk, eh? That's crazy.
I know.
More names?
The Quan,
Delante.
Tyrone.
His dad's light skinned, so he looks mostly white, but his name's Delante.
Jalen.
Oh, that's common. Like that's like
You said light
that's
skin.
entry level.
Winston.
Jalen's entry level.
Nevea.
Heaven. That's heaven.
crazy.
It's heaven.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
we
Tyreek.
got you. Oh my God.
His dad's not even around, but his name is Tyreek. His dad's also not even named Tyreek.
Yo, what?
Crazy.
Where'd she get the inspiration?
Power. His dad was a ghost.
Nobody in her
He
family
was
is named
never
Tyreek.
there. He was never there.
Why'd you name Tyreek? My dad was a ghost.
She has not one family member named Tyreek, bro. But this guy.
We in.
Starting his new bloodline, fam.
Naming your light skin Wayne, that's very old Jamaican.
That's very, yeah.
Winston,
Wayne's so old, she has roots now. Like I might just let it slide. Like she's been making curry goat for so long.
You have dumpling hands.
Oh, these
She's just
ones?
making spin-offs
Yeah,
all
I
day,
know.
fam.
You know.
All day. She knows what she's doing. If
Allow her in the
you see a
kitchen
light
still,
skin
yeah,
you name Wayne, fam, you can trust his mom.
Yeah.
still.
You know
She knows what
what's
His
she's
dad's
doing.
a dread.
Nah,
She
nah,
probably
nah.
beats him in everything, fam.
You
She's
see
with
like
the
a
function.
3-year-old named Wayne, but he's grown rolling spliff, eh?
Yeah, he's taken care of, bro. That's a grown man. Don't even worry about him, bro.
Yeah. Wayne's like,
Wayne's
an
a
old
very
nigga.
much-
He's
mature
up at
name.
6 a.m.
2025, there's a child named Wayne. His upbringing is different.
Different. They don't even make those names no more.
He walks 10 miles to school in Toronto.
Voluntarily.
Yeah.
He skipped bare
He has
school
old
saying-
Jamaican stories for no reason.
Yeah, it's great. Fam,
Yeah.
he has a spliff in his onesie.
That's
Ready for
crazy.
later.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sativa.
he's still in school. They daycare.
Oh,
But the white women with the dreads that are moving the most righteous like this, those are the ones I don't really like. I don't really.
That whole set of people I can't even address.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? But like,
Just don't get into a war with them. Like, don't get into a words war with them.
no, it's crazy. She might say something.
You know, and it's crazy when
I'm
they
saying,
have
that's like crazy.
the tick natty too. And it's wrap up. You just gotta allow them
Yo,
on that.
those, you know what's crazy? Those ones
Fam,
are,
Allow
she's
them.
in
And
it
it's
to
down
win
to
it,
here.
fam.
but those ones are always kind of fat still. The F,
They are still. They are.
the F people. We can't say the F word.
No, we're not doing that, bro. You already blocked me on the R words. We're calling people fat, bro. You don't have
You,
a medical condition.
especially you.
It's with a PH.
No, it's not. Don't let him lie to you. You're big. I'm not doing this.
Not pretty
Okay.
hot and tempting, eh?
And yo, my thing is, I always felt like, yo, if I was fat, I would just embrace it or I'd lose the weight. I wouldn't straddle on the fence.
How you
Try-
embrace it? You hug yourself?
No, I would be like Biggie Smalls, fam. What you say? I'm fat, black, and ugly as ever.
Yeah.
He didn't care.
Faith Evans was eating his ass.
You didn't have to say that.
He had to do a road with glasses on still. You're crazy.
I don't know.
I just heard. I don't know. I seen it recently.
That's
Faith,
why his eye was like that.
I'm not lying. Faith Evans was eating a lot of ass though. Like,
Bro,
That's
why
why
the fuck did it go here, bro? I had other shit to say.
Yo, this guy's fucked.
Biggie's
Bro.
cheeks. Holy.
Bro, this shit. Man, that's not what I was even going for, bro.
The
Why?
williest of the willies.
She had Biggie's legs on
Alright.
her shoulders.
Bet.
Doing all shoulder.
I had some words of encouragement. I had some words of encouragement for the larger audience.
For the Biggie Smalls of the audience.
Now apparently it's this. That's what they took with my encouragement, bro. This is your future. bro.
Victoria shoulder press.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
10 crack commandments.
Oh, that's crazy. Why did this happen?
My bad.
Oh man.